Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to discuss about two methods of approaching in marketing, which are ATL and BTL. But just very briefly, the gist is if you're targeting a broad range of audience, for example, through a TV commercial, that is ATL. If you are targeting a small group of potential customers through a specific catalog, or if you find some potential customers and send them email, that is BTL. This is the shortest possible explanation, but now I'm just going to give further explanation, some history and some examples for your further reference. So basically ATL stands for above the line and BTL stands for below the line, and as I would explain, there is also something called TTL, which is just through the line. So brief history. Apparently the terms ATL and BTL were first used in 1954 after the Procter & Gamble began paying advertising firms separately and in a different rate from the other suppliers who dealt with more direct promotional efforts. So at that time, the advertising agencies, it was a golden age. They used to charge high commissions and probably made more money than they do today proportionally. So they used to rent the time from TV or even in the cinemas and then allocate that previously rented time to different companies which would ask for advertising services. And Procter & Gamble started to take a different approach. They said that, for example, if the target audience is very specific, or if it is a small, or if they are only a group of potential customers, we are going to pay less. And they basically took a new approach. So as it is explained in this slide, the term ATL and BTL emerged at that time. Employees in company, which means P&G, then considered free sampling, discount programs, sweepstakes, sponsorship, and etc., which made them draw a line below initial costs. So basically it was an accounting line which later developed to become the term ATL and BTL in order to include these previously uncharted costs of promotion. So in the beginning there was only ATL, but they started to notice that other types of marketing can be possible, and they also had this type of approach also has its own cost. So they separated these type of two marketing costs by simply drawing a line, and the term ATL and BTL simply emerged there. Now, advertising agencies made commissions from booking different types of media, TV, cinema, radio, magazines, and etc. Since BTL activities had no involvement of media, no commission was made for these agencies. So it was not desirable to them. And the rest is I just explained to you. Now, specifically, let's focus on ATL. Above the line is an advertising strategy. So it is an advertising strategy based on all types of communication, which involves the use of mass media channels such as television, cinema, radio, print, and out-of-home in order to promote brands or present a specific offer. Now, the objectives of ATL activities are to strengthen brand awareness, to build a brand identity, and to improve the brand image about company's product or service. So if you think with yourself, you first heard about some very famous brands, for example, when you were a child, through some TV advertisements. And that is build a brand identity or brand awareness. First you heard about the brand, then through repetition, an identity is built, and then to improve the brand image, what you think about that brand. This type of communication is conventional and impersonal to customers. It means target a broad range of potential or even non-potential customers, and much more effective when the target group is very large and difficult to define. So if you have a product which you think everybody needs it, for example dairy products, then definitely you would go for ATL. And of course, you have to pay much more. One of the major drawbacks in the ATL campaigns is the inability to evaluate the commission based on the campaign. It is impossible to calculate how much the sale increased due to campaign, or it is very difficult to calculate. So it is necessary, but it is uncertain. Now, these are the methods of ATL strategy: TV commercials, billboard advertisements, radio, and so on. Advantages of above the line or ATL advertisement. So wide reach, better connect with audience, and effective brand building. These are the main advantages in comparison. Now let's get to BTL. And by the way, I forgot to say at the beginning of my presentation, I would put the link for you to access and download this presentation, which is made by PowerPoint, in the comment section. So don't worry if you miss some of the slides or if you cannot read through. Now, BTL, below the line, uses less conventional methods than ATL, focusing on direct communication, like promotions, sampling or tasting, sweepstakes and contests, loyalty programs, guerrilla marketing, direct mail, and event marketing. BTL refers to non-media communication, which is short-term incentive and mainly oriented at customers. Now, this is the definition. Main advantages of BTL are better targeting, direct and often personalized communication with measurable performance, ROI, return on investment, can be calculated, and more tightly attached to sale than ATL. Advantages of BTL is also in communication flexibility. BTL campaigns take place at the point of sale, where customers can make the final decision on the purchase. There is direct interaction with customers or potential customers. So direct interaction is also one of the keywords when we are talking about the BTL. Indicating the opportunity for personalization of communication. Once you achieve effective personal approach, sales should increase. And more on BTL. BTL is a common technique used for touch and feel products. It can include beauty products, electronics, and so on, where the customer will rather rely on immediate information about product than previously researched items. This technique ensures recall of brand while at the same time highlights the characteristics of the product. Now, workshops, activities in retail touchpoints, consumer engagement activations, exclusive lounges, experience corners in retail shops. These are some examples for BTL. And these are various methods of BTL technique or BTL strategy: intelligence-based telemarketing, catalogs, direct mail marketing, events, POS, PR, PPC, pay-per-click advertisements, and so on. Experiential activities, in-person demonstration or sampling, various methods. Now, this is about the trend. Large corporations and well-known brands now know that experience and engagement of customers can be achieved only through BTL. Because when we talk about ATL, they cannot be experimentally engaged. They just hear something or see something through a TV advertisement. Even the quality and everything is superb, still they cannot really feel it. Estimation is that the BTL industry is growing at 25 or 30% and will continue to grow exponentially over the next few years. In this way, consumers are not only introduced with the core benefits of the product, but they are honored to try or test the product. Give their contribution in the form of feedback and participate actively in the process of brand building. Now, this is an example of Kerin India BTL, which mentions that now the budget of Kerin India was around 9 million euros, and later it was cut to 7 million euros, and now they're focusing more on BTL, as explained here. So basically, it's about the cameras that they produce. Technology is such a category of products where the obsolescence rate is high. It means it gets outdated soon. So as the level of brand loyalty and the consumer's decision depend mainly on practical experience and experience of others. Canon India has decided to create a better relationship with customers by sharing with them the technical knowledge on how to use the product better. For example, you go to Canon India shop in a shopping mall in, for example, New Delhi, and the seller is ready to give the camera to you. You can take some pictures there, and he would give you some technical recommendations, for example, on how to adjust the lens, on how to use the flash, and so on. And you would experiment it personally. You won't just see the camera behind glass. And this is BTL, and it would encourage you, it would enhance your feeling, your experience, and probably if you're a real buyer, if the price is also workable, you might make the decision to buy the camera at that shop, which gives you this opportunity. Of course, now this has become a common practice, and every seller of electronic products is doing the same thing. But when BTL was initially started, it was a unique experience to many customers. Now, here a comparison is made between ATL and BTL. It says that ATL is facing creation awareness of the product, while BTL is facing creation of a desire for purchasing the product. You can see that ATL is more general. ATL is more related to brand itself, and BTL to CRM, customer relation management. And ATL expenditures compared to BTL expenditures have decreasing trend over the years. Now, many companies are more focusing on BTL. Of course, it's not a general rule. So here you see a diagram. TTL is in the middle. I would explain it later. It means through the line. Basically, it's a combination of ATL and BTL. But there are some gray areas. For example, social media is TTL. And if you want to think about it in terms of A and B, is it ATL or BTL? If you just put an advertisement of your product on the social media, it is ATL. If you seek and search on the social media, find a community, find a page which is more related to your product and put your advertisement there, then it is BTL. And now this is a comparison. 7 trends impacting the allocation of marketing budgets for ATL and BTL campaigns. You can see these 7 trends. And for example, number 2, growing consumer sophistication heightens the demand for channel agnostic communications, and so on. You would see it in detail, as I mentioned, in the file. And here about the TTL. It stands for through the line, is related to an advertising strategy which involves both ATL and BTL, where one form of advertising indicates the target market to another form of advertising, thereby crossing the line. In recent years, agencies and clients have switched to integrated communication, which means a mixture of ATL and BTL. Now, when you launch a campaign, whether ATL or BTL, what are the measuring criteria? In case of ATL, frequency, reach, and number of impressions. So frequency, number of times members of the target audience see the advertisements. Reach, total number of people that see the advertisement. And number of impression, it means how many times the advertisement has been displayed across various mediums. How to measure the BTL campaigns? You can see conversion rates from websites, CTR, CPC, open rates from EDMs, number of page visits, number of followers, if for example you have launched an Instagram page for your product, subscribers, and engagement. So these are the sources which I have used to prepare this presentation, and I hope you have enjoyed it and find it useful. And as I mentioned, please go to the comment section and download this presentation file if you need. Thank you.